The problem with this discrimination and stigma, in as far as mental health is concerned, is that we are being made to pay for honesty. So just because I am honest that I have this, you're going to make me pay a price, a penalty for being honest. So do you want me to lie? Do you want me to lie on the form and say I don't have this? Do you want me to lie and not say I have this at work? Why are we being punished for honesty? Hello, brothers. My name is Dumisoma Zibugo, and I'm a strong man living and thriving with mental health issues. Welcome to another edition of Mentality Conversations for Men. In this particular video, I want to talk about the discrimination and the stigma, the marginalization that comes with mental health, particularly for us as men. Studies show that more than half of the people who have mental health illnesses, mental health disorders and conditions, do not seek help, do not go and get treatment for it. And the primary reason is that of a fear of being treated differently because of having mental health issues. This is known as stigma. Stigma is ugly. I hate it. It's nasty. Stigma is the thing that causes you, first of all, to live in fear because of a particular thing that you carry that is perceived as negative or in a particular way by society. It does not only touch mental health, it can touch so many other conditions. It can touch even physical sicknesses. It can touch economic states, that when people are in a particular economic state, there's stigma attached to that. It can be attached to where you live, geographical areas, that people who live in a certain place or area or region carry a certain stigma. It can even be attached to identity. It can be attached to religion. For instance, those who are of the Muslim faith carry a stigma of being violent terrorists, right? And so even us who are living with mental health conditions and mental health challenges, there is a stigma that is attached to mental health. And I want to address this because it's destructive, it's harmful, it's not doing us any good in progressing this conversation on wellness and mental health. Primary to this discussion is that people who have mental health, and particularly us as men, we carry a fear of being marginalized. And it's a reality, it's not just a fear, it's we are marginalized, we are treated differently, we are considered weak, we are considered high risk because of mental health, and so on. And this can take place on three levels that I want to deal with. And I'm singling out men, yes, because this is mentality conversations for men, but what we need to come to terms is that stigma is particularly amplified for us as men. It is multiplied for us because we, as I've been saying in former conversations, we just are not simply allowed to be weak, to cry. We are not allowed to have a problem as men. This is all stigma. This is all being treated differently in as far as mental health is concerned. And so stigma can take place on three levels. First of level, it can be public stigma. And this is the perception of how the public views those who live with mental health. Stigma can be structural. So within certain organizations or nations or any groupings of people, there can be certain structural impediments to living or being a person who lives with mental health. For instance, in a certain company, you might be overlooked and passed over for a certain promotion or a certain kind of job because you are considered high risk because of mental health. The most destructive of stigmas is the third level, which is self-stigma. And as a man, I want you to be very careful of this. People out there can have a particular view of you, good or bad. But what ultimately matters is how you see yourself, how you view yourself, what you think about yourself. Self-stigma, when it comes to mental health, it refers to your own negative conversations that you have about yourself internally, a negative self-view that you carry about yourself, negative self-talk that you have, low self-esteem, a low sense of self-worth that you attach to yourself because you are struggling in the area of mental health. And one of the deceptions that does fuel stigma, even on the self level, is the misconception that you are alone. That you are alone in this, that no one is going through this except you. That no one understands, that no one can listen, no one qualifies to help you, no one can take you serious because they just don't understand. And that is false. A large percentage of the world's population is living with one or another kind of mental health condition. You are not alone. You are not different. You are not unique. You are not singled out by God or by the devil as you're facing mental health issues. And this is one of the reasons why it's so important for me personally to have this initiative called Mentality Conversations for Men, because one of the primary solutions and remedies for stigma is conversation, is people who will speak out openly and start to normalize the conversations around mental health. People who will start to say, hey, this is not something that belongs to insane people or people who are violent. This is not something that belongs to people who are drug addicts and people, who are on the extremes, people who belong in mental health asylums. Yes, there are those within this community of mental health sufferers that do need hospitalization, that do need an extra or higher level of care. But we take it to the extreme because we paint everyone with a brush that says if someone has got mental health issues or struggling in the area of mental health, all of a sudden we think that they are not worthy of certain things, as opposed to people who claim that they don't have mental health. We think that people with mental health issues are all violent, are all unstable. They all can't hold a job. They all can't build a business. They all can't build a successful, healthy marriage. And if you listen to me, every time I open and close one of these videos, I will say that I am not just living with mental health issues, but I'm thriving. And that doesn't mean that I've got it all together. There are days when I wake up and I just don't have a grip on it all. There are days when I try and be productive and it just doesn't work. There are days where I struggle to regulate my mood and my emotions. There are days I struggle with regulating concentration and focus because I suffer from ADHD personally. But here's the thing, that even though I have one or two bad days in a week, or even more sometimes, or one or two bad nights where I can't sleep because of insomnia, here's the thing, I am not less of a person. I am not less in value. I'm not less in strength. I am not less of a person in how God views me. My future is not tied to my condition of mental health. My future is tied in the decisions that I make on a daily basis, just like everyone else. So I create my future. I decide what my future is going to be even though I have certain challenges that I have. It's a cross that I bear to be suffering from depression, anxiety, ADHD. It's an extra burden that I have, but I carry it with grace. I'm learning every day to carry it with grace, to thrive and to be productive with the challenges that I have. Somebody else has got their own cross, has got their own burden to bear. Maybe mental health is not their own thing. Some other man out there, maybe they don't have the hurdle of mental health. Okay, what I do. So I'm not going to disqualify myself based on what I'm going through, what I consider as a weakness or a shortcoming, just because it doesn't look like someone else's problem, or my life does not look like someone else's life, which on the surface seems shiny and looks all good and all of that. But I know for a fact that there is nobody who does not have issues. Even the people who seem perfect have got their own challenges and issues, and I'm not gonna even wish to exchange my problem for another person. And so defeating stigma and prejudice and discrimination that is associated with mental health first begins with us talking, normalizing this thing. I find it hard that I still struggle with Christians, believers, because I operate in that world, being a Christian and a pastor. Still find people of the faith that just accuse me of that when I speak of mental health, I am creating it. That power of life and death is in the tongue. So every time I talk about it, I'm creating it. Every time I'm voicing out, I'm creating it to be a bigger problem, to be a bigger impediment in my life. I'm growing the problem. It's false. It's false. It is exactly this that is the strategy of our enemy, to keep us down and silent, so that those who are suffering, so the men out there that are suffering with mental health disorders or mental health issues will not voice out and speak because we must not talk about it. And this can be in any other community, not just religious communities. It can be in cultural communities, it can be in the workplace and so on. But what we must not allow ourselves is to keep quiet, because when we keep quiet, when we don't talk amongst each other, when we don't normalize mental health conversations, we deepen stigma. One problem I have, and I've faced this personally myself, and I'm hearing more and more of it from other people that I talk to who have got certain mental health issues, is discrimination that comes even with insurance companies. When you try to get life insurance, for instance, you get told that maybe you don't qualify because you are suffering from depression, or you're on medication for depression or anxiety or bipolar or one or any other of the mental health conditions out there. They tell you that because of that, you got to pay a higher premium, or you just don't qualify for the plan. There are forms of discrimination in the workplace where just by voicing out and being honest to HR or to your employer that you have got this condition, they start treating you differently. They start not giving you certain tasks, certain responsibilities, a promotion that you do qualify for. They start treating you with kid gloves because, oh, you are just so fragile, you will break, you just can't take pressure. All of these things are hugely discouraging for those of us living with mental health issues. It annoys me, it angers me so much, because we are causing a problem that is already at crisis level to be bigger. If you're an employer and you happen to come across this video, do not treat your employees who have disclosed mental health conditions to you differently to those that maybe have not. Because those who have not doesn't mean that they don't have, but this one chose to be honest. The problem with this discrimination and stigma in as far as mental health is concerned, it's that we are being made to pay for honesty. So just because I am honest that I have this, you're going to make me pay a price, a penalty for being honest. So do you want me to lie? Do you want me to lie on the form and say I don't have this? Do you want me to lie and not say I have this at work? Why are we being punished for honesty? I want to encourage every man, brother. There can be structural stigma and discrimination and prejudice. There can be public stigma, prejudice, and discrimination, but never succumb to self-stigma. My name is Ndumisoma Zibugo, and I'm a strong man living and thriving with mental health issues. See you on the next one.